Hey y'all. Um, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ajartu for my home-based people, or those that know. And I'm back again with another video to basically talk a little bit more about why people like Nick Wood, Krio Borbor, are harmful to the Sierra Leonean community, why I said the things I said, and why I think he needs to take the time to reflect and really think about what he's putting out there and what image and narrative he's actually promoting to folks. This all started, a long time ago because I've seen his content for a long time. I don't engage with it too often. When it comes up, I scroll past because I'm not somebody that really pays attention to people that I don't like or don't think are intelligent. The video is basically a video of him saying, all of you guys that are criticizing me, which is even funny, but I'll get to that later. All of you guys that are criticizing me, why are you guys criticizing me from America? Why aren't you guys in Sierra Leone? And I just thought it was so baseless, so superficial, so haughty, as I told him, and so unintelligent to say. And I explained that very clearly and concisely, I thought. What I said was that it's very obvious why there are Sierra Leoneans who aren't living in Sierra Leone and still want better for the country and still have the rights, the means, the intelligence to criticize the things that he's putting out. Them necessarily being in Sierra Leone at that exact moment isn't a requirement. I think this is funny for a couple of reasons because one, it shows that I'm not the only one that is, seeing through the content that he's putting out. I'm not the only one that thinks it's corny. I'm not the only one that, actually sees it for what it is, which is exploitative. But instead of taking the time to humble yourself or humble himself, look inside, look inward, and wonder why people are continuously calling me out and asking me to do better. Instead, he made some snooty little comment talking about how, oh yeah, of course, all white people in America have resources. Like, I never said that, but given that your first trip to Sierra Leone was in 2010 on a mission trip, you obviously have the means to repatriate and leave everything behind in America. Mission trips are so, kind of controversial in and of themselves, but you wouldn't have this, magical obsession, as you've called it in your BBC clip now that I've seen, with this country had you not had that opportunity almost or over 10 years ago even. Number one, again, a simple book, a simple Google search, anything related to even trying to educate yourself would tell you that there are a multiplicity of reasons why Sierra Leoneans aren't in the country, and all of them are very valid. I'm not sure if you heard Krio Borbor, but we did have a civil war in the late 90s leading up into the 2000s, and that severely decimated the economy that we already were struggling to rebuild post-decolonialism. So I'm not really understanding what you're not understanding. Slavery, colonialism, and imperialism have severely disbanded the economic opportunities that we have had over the last 100 or 200 years. So to answer your question, that's why a lot of us aren't in Sierra Leone right now, okay? And for you to even say you're sitting in America with your AC, again, it shows your implicit bias, because why is the assumption there that I don't have AC in America? In Africa? Why do you try to propose or, purport things that Africa is backwards, Africa is behind, if you claim to love and want everybody to see the content, as you say? Every goddamn room I have in Godrich has AC, bitch. And that has been the case for years. Look at me sniffling because I'm sick. So for you to even indicate otherwise or assume otherwise, imply otherwise, is so very offensive and rude, and I don't appreciate that. Don't you dare do that again. Because I'm sure whatever stupid ass house you're renting out or trying to buy or doing whatever with, you outfitted it because it was available to you, you idiot. So don't ever in your life fix your lips to tell me that I'm sitting in America with my AC, and I'm gonna sit in Africa with my AC and tell you the same thing again. And if I see you in the street, I'm gonna come up to you and tell you the same thing again, because it's stupid, the things you're putting out, the images and the narratives you're promoting about Sierra Leone, they're stupid. And I'm embarrassed that people of my country support you, but I don't blame them. The point that I'm trying to make here is that there are very obvious reasons that Sierra Leoneans aren't in the country, and the relationship that actual Sierra Leoneans have with the country in terms of leaving, living there currently, or that process or whatever in between they might be on the spectrum between the two, is very complicated for political and economic reasons. And so I personally, and neither does the rest of the country, but I personally don't need some fucking idiot who just landed there a couple years ago telling me, why are you guys talking from outside the club? You can't even get in. Maybe some of us can't get in because we don't have the luxury of having family not depend on us for remittances for the last 20 years. And again, for you, Mr. Nick, I know I keep using big words that maybe, are a little bit new for you. So if you need to pause this at any time, go ahead and do that. Google it, remittances, remittances. The reason why I'm on your ass like white on rice, no pun intended, is because you are not an anomaly. I don't take in any of your content as just I'm just some sweet boy who I just stumbled on this country and now I'm just so obsessed and I think it's so fun and I want everybody to see. It's not. That's why there are words for people like you, like neocolonizers, neocolonialism. It's not new. The things you're doing of, making all of this viral, engaging, exploitative clickbait content around, trying to center your whiteness in Africa, it's not new. So I'm not impressed, and I'm going to continue to tell you that I'm not impressed. The things that you do, you don't showcase Sierra Leone with an appreciation and an introspection that shows that you're really taking it in. You show up to Sierra Leone as if you want us to commend you. I'm not going to applaud you for being white in Africa. You didn't do anything special there. You've done nothing remarkable by simply being white in Africa and recording that life. There's nothing there. There are millions of whites that go back to all parts of Africa every single year, and they don't make a big fuss and a big deal about it. I'm not saying that white people shouldn't travel. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the things that you're doing, they're not special. As I keep saying and as I continue to say, people leave Sierra Leone out of necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention, as my mother always says to me. People did not just decide that they want to leave the only country that they've ever known to come to a place where they have no family and no friends 20, 30 years ago. Which, again, I know you wouldn't understand that because you haven't done any of the research or any of the community engagement to actually learn any of these stories. So let me tell you, people did not just decide that they don't want to be here, okay? Some of us did not choose to be born in the places that we have been born. If I could go back in time and make sure that we weren't colonized or that there wasn't civil war so that I could be from Kissy Road like I'm supposed to be, like I said, the name is Ajartu, Eastern Peking, I would do that. But I don't have that option because there was a war. It's like I don't understand how slow I have to talk for you to really understand my point. But I will continue to break it down bit by bit until you pick your lazy ass up and go to a fucking museum or read a book or something. Anyway, then for you to come and tell me that I'm being racist towards you, it's so laughable that I want to laugh, but I truly can't because, again, I'm just reminded how stupid you are. And I do genuinely mean this as somebody who went to Berkeley, graduated with her degree, her major in political economy and her minor in African American studies. I can see how stupid you are from the things you post, and I want you to take offense to that because I do mean it in an offensive way. If you're going to be creative, the content that you create, you need to go and educate yourself. You are very stupid, and it shows. And for people like me who have taken the time to research both in my lived experience and then actually in the classroom and in qualified classrooms at that, I can say with pride and gladness that you are dumb. You're not really doing the helpful content that you think you're doing because, again, you're centering your whiteness and your victim mentality in everything that you do. Everything is, hey guys, look at me, there's cockroaches and I'm eating pepperhand and this and that and this and that, and it's shameful. It's embarrassing that other Sierra Leoneans support you. I'll get to them later, but for you embarrass me. And you're not representing my country. You might say I'm the only one, even though I'm not, but me, one of one. Your content is terrible as fuck. And I can say that with pride. You have taken none of the time to assimilate correctly. And you know what's so funny? I can tell through your children. The content that you post of your children, it doesn't seem like you're raising them with the love and appreciation for Sierra Leone that you claim to have. You talk to your kids in Krio and they don't respond. If they do, it's because you told them to repeat a certain phrase or two. I remember the last video I saw of this, before this bullshit that I saw this recently, it was of you making your daughter eat jollof rice when you guys just, you know, finally repatriated, and she was saying how she didn't like it because it was spicy. Like, it shows what you're doing. It's just very obvious. It's very see-through. It's very superficial. It doesn't seem like anybody else in your family wants to be there. Just you, because you're still hoping that you're going to get rich off the content. And I'm going to keep calling you out for that because it's bullshit. It sucks. Like, I'm not impressed. You need to do better. You obviously don't have the background or the education to be creating any of the content that you do, which is why half of your content is, come do this with me for the first time. And it continues to bring controversy because you're not doing it in a way that shows appreciation. You're not being introspective and really challenging yourself to be better. Unfortunately for you, you will always be a white man. And so that's always going to show up in everything you do. And you should think about the implications of that before you sit and cry and try and tell me that I'm calling you racist because I told you to acknowledge your privilege. Yes, you do have privilege that you have to acknowledge. Whether or not you want to do that because you think it's going to hurt your 25.1K, that's your fucking business. But for me and for people who actually have the context on what you're doing, I'm going to tell you you should. You trying to say that me... what bullshit did you say? That, oh, if you were to, make blatant statements about blacks, it would cause problems. Of course, because there are racial implications from that coming from you, from a white man. I don't hold those same privileges. I don't hold that same power in society to make any things that I'm saying racist. You could have used any goddamn word in there. But again, you wanted to feel like the victim. You wanted to center yourself and your experience as you do in all of your content. And so you chose to use racist, which I think is funny. Learn the definition of that, and then come back to me. Learn about neocolonialism. Learn about core and peripheral countries, and then you can come back to me and maybe we can have a conversation. To my fellow Sierra Leoneans, do it tonight once. But for myself, I feel like a lot of you guys consider him doing you guys a favor, or that the honor is ours, that, he's suddenly decided to move his whole life to Sierra Leone. When I don't take it as that. I respect myself and I respect my country. So of course it's a place that you should want to do. And you should feel like the pleasure is yours. You should feel like the honor is yours. And come to us humbly, with respect and with dignity. It's a dignified place and it will always be a dignified place. I don't care what this place may look like right now, what this place may smell like this, who's in power, I don't care. It will always be a place deserving of respect and honor. And until he responds like that, I won't be engaging. I won't be appreciative. I don't feel grateful to him. I don't feel like I should bow down to him on my knees because he's done, AFAF video them. It's not anything special. We are all working tirelessly to promote Sierra Leone. And maybe you guys aren't, but for myself, I can say that I am. We are always showing national pride in Sierra Leone. Everybody's moms and dads are always working around the clock to make that place a better place. And if you can't say that for your family, you need to feel embarrassed. But for me, I'm not gonna go and high five him. You don't applaud fish for swimming. So I don't feel impressed, and I'm not going to feel impressed because he has yet to engage in the community or any of the things that he's doing in a way that shows that he's actually done his research or he's actually taking the time to honor the things that he's encountering. Until anybody can tell me with facts, resources, evidence, publications, theories, just general knowledge, until anybody can tell me that I'm wrong, I don't want to hear anybody calling me bitter. I don't want to hear anybody calling me that I'm hating, because there is nothing about him or any of that I would ever want to emulate. And that's just that.